the fall in these microfinance institutions which are catching your attention?
No, actually, absolutely. And it's kind of so what I did is I went back to the period when microfinance companies actually faced a lot of trouble in Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah.
That was back in 2010 or so 6 years back. What I want to do is, first of all, let's put the stock up, Bharat Financial. The high was 900, it's about 600, so it's essentially about 35% away from the highs. But it's corrected, the correction has taken a speedier kind of tone in the last 2 days. Yesterday, the stock was down 6%. Arguably on the back of that report in the Mint newspaper, which said that the Maharashtra government is setting up a SIT, and today it's down about 3% again. So that's what? 9% cut in 2 days, and today counting. So let's just begin with yesterday's news, which is what triggered off the worry. And this is a quote that I want to put up, which is attributable to Deepak Kasarkar, who's the Minister of State for Home for the state of Maharashtra. And I'm picking this up from the Mint, and I quote, "The scale of irregularities and violations being perpetrated by microfinance companies in Maharashtra was beyond the jurisdiction of the police department. So we have decided to appoint an SIT to look into the complaints. We have not yet decided the time frame for the investigation or the composition of the SIT. SIT would submit report to the state government, and we will share it with regulators such as the Reserve Bank of India and the Securities and Exchange Board of India." So this is the Minister of State for Home, Rima, who made this comment, and it kind of triggered off worry that we are going to see what we saw in Andhra Pradesh, right? Let's just rewind it. We don't know whether we'll see a repeat of what we saw in Andhra Pradesh. Remember, the first, before you start to make generalizations about the situation now and the situation in AP, Andhra Pradesh was a statewide problem. What we have here, and if you dig a little deeper, it seems what you have here is trouble in spots like Vidarbha, etc., which essentially have been distressed because of, in the past, over the last many years, have been in a very distressed kind of situation. But let's put out a couple of points, and I want to sort of clarify this. What are the big worries? Politicians, bureaucrats, moneylenders in the past have created trouble as far as microfinance, the business of microfinance is concerned. There have been instances, not just now, but in the past as well, where politicians have instigated borrowers, members of these microfinance institutions, to not repay loans. This becomes especially relevant because of what's happening in terms of UP and Punjab. UP is about 12% of the book. Punjab is about 2% of the book for Bharat Financial. I'm just taking one, but there are others as well who are present in these states. And both are going into elections. Are we seeing some trouble? There are reports coming through, but not enough to make a cogent kind of a picture as to whether these are large-scale problems. By the way, Bharat Financial has also made a presentation in which they give some numbers. I'll get to that in a bit. And Abhishek has been reading through that as well. Just to give you one instance, in March 2016, the collector of Krishna district in Andhra Pradesh asked for the closure of MFI branches. That is as back as 10 years back. I'm just giving you these as examples of what has happened in the past. So what you're seeing in Maharashtra, what you're seeing in other states like UP, etc., is not exactly new. The other problem, Rima, which is the fact that institutions like Bharat Financial, etc., make loans predominantly to women. Actually, Bharat Financial only gives loans to women. The collection agents, right, or the staff on the ground, the staff of these microfinance companies is largely young men. That also kind of gives rise to all kinds of allegations about coercive behavior, etc., etc. So it kind of can get it, the entire situation on the ground can get pretty charged. And of course, the big problem with these loans, instances of default pretty much turn into 100% loss. Unlike other usual bank loans, which are backed by assets, these are unsecured loans. If you have a case of a default, the probability of a loss is almost extremely high. So I think those are the worries broadly, which are kind of plaguing the microfinance sector as a whole, and Bharat Finance, because it's the largest, the second largest player actually in particular.
Yes, and UP and Maharashtra, which are the two problematic states, Bharat Financial has about a 21% exposure to these two states, and these two states contributed nearly 22% of the company's incremental AUM growth in the last 2 years. So those are the troubles which have fallen onto Bharat Financial inclusion.